In the centre of Europe, there is a tiny country called Switzerland. I'm sure you've heard about it. But do you also know that right in the middle, between Milan and Paris, there's one of the most beautiful parts of this country. The secret spot is called the Lake Geneva Region, and that's the perfect place to experience Switzerland at its best. You can embark on an unforgettable adventure, discovering a mountain peak, a panoramic train, a medieval castle, steamboats on the lake,
a unique museum on the lakeshore, and a Swiss chocolate factory.
Let's start our journey with Glacier 3000, the mountain peak at 3,000 meters, with the only peak-to-peak suspension bridge. Fun activities in the snow all year round, and the views of the most famous peaks in the Alps. Then continue with the MOB Golden Pass, the panoramic train ride from the mountains to the lake, through green valleys, villages, and tunnels in a scenic, typical Swiss landscape. Only 1.5 hours later, we reach Chillon Castle, the most visited historical monument of Switzerland, where you can choose the visit which suits you best to discover the medieval gem and even combine a guided tour with a wine tasting.
But that's not it. You can also take one of the historical paddle steamers of the CGN to discover the breathtaking view of the UNESCO Vevey vineyards and enjoy a delicious meal on board. This will lead you to Lausanne, the Olympic capital, where you will fully experience and relive the Games at the Olympic Museum. Put yourself in the shoes of an athlete. Over here, learning is about having fun and experimenting. Take your time, you have great stories to tell. Finally, don't miss Maison Caillé, Switzerland's favourite chocolate experience. Discover the history of the oldest still existing Swiss chocolate brand and indulge your palate with an amazing variety of flavours during a chocolate tasting. What are you waiting for? Join us and explore the highlights of Lake Geneva Region.
We love you.
Hello, hello. Good afternoon to everybody who's tuned in to the World at Your Home series, episode 2, Cultural Highlights of Switzerland. I see a lot of familiar faces today. I think they're in for the grand prize, which is the 9-day tour to Switzerland. I can see Miss Charlene Mondehar. I've seen you last time. Miss Leia. Miss Jaja, I think it's the first time I've seen you. That means you have to watch the previous stream for you to be able to be eligible to win the grand prize. So hello, Miss Sonia Akasho. My mom is also here. Good support. We also want to say hello to Sir Jeremy, to Miss Vivian. Someone is watching us all the way from Baguio, from La Union. Thank you so much for tuning in for today. So again, you are watching the World at Your Home series. It's a live stream series where we bring every destination to your home to inspire the feeling of wanderlust, because I know majority of us cannot really travel or cannot fulfill our hashtag travel goals yet. We wish to bring at the comforts of your home some travel inspiration from various destinations within the Philippines and around the globe. And for this week, actually for this month, we are highlighting Switzerland. So I guess everyone already knows. Everyone is doing hashtag my Switzerland now. So again, as I mentioned during the previous stream, and today we're going to do the same. We are giving away a 9-day trip to Switzerland with Europamundo Vacations at the end of October. Just follow these steps to earn a raffle entry for the grand prize. So if you haven't followed it last time, I'm sorry, you're not included, but it's not too late. You can watch the live stream last time and follow the instructions so you will be eligible for a raffle entry. So number 1 rule is you follow and like the Tours R Us page. Second rule is watch the live streams every Thursday at 5 p.m. So this is the second live stream. The third one is going to be on the 21st. And then share our live stream to your friends and post with the hashtag my Switzerland. So make sure the shared post is public, otherwise we won't be able to see it. Also, answer the question at the end of the stream. That's how we make sure that you actually stayed throughout the whole stream. So you need to answer the last question we're going to ask you and put it on the comment section. And of course, you must have watched all the 3 live streams. So if you were able to share the stream with the hashtag my Switzerland and then answer the question at the end of the stream and then answered all the questions in the 3 streams, then you are eligible for a 9-day trip to Switzerland. Sorry to Sir Lyndon Johnson, even if it's your birthday, you have to follow the instructions and it's all up to luck if you're going to win the trip to Switzerland. So I know you've been wishing for this one, but yes. Of course, for today, we are giving away not 1, but 2 prizes. Last time we gave away a 500 peso GCash credit. And the lucky winner was Miss Sandra Fernando. Hopefully, it will be another person who's going to win this. But aside from this 500 peso GCash credit, our guests for today also gave us a voucher. So I will share it later. If in case you do win the 9-day trip to Switzerland, maybe you can use that voucher to add 2 more days or 3 more days, 2 more nights in Geneva. So yes, share done. Thank you so much for everyone who's sharing the live stream now. So without further ado, let me try to introduce as well. What about if you missed the first episode? You can go back to our Facebook page and then go back to the live stream and watch it again and watch it until the end and comment on the part where we ask a question. So I'm not going to say the question here. You have to watch it. All right. So we're going to do the same after the end of this live stream. Okay. So we have 3 speakers with us today, as you've seen in the lobby screen. And one of them, actually, you have already met last week. So I would like to call on Mr. Baptiste Pillet, Director for Southeast Asia of Switzerland Tourism, to give us a few words about the cultural highlights of Switzerland. Hello, Mr. Baptiste. Welcome back again.
Hi, Felice. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for the invitation. I'm happy to see that a lot of people are joining again, so you are not completely fed up from my presentation from last week. This week it will be much shorter, but actually I wanted to talk about the Swiss culture in general, because normally we always emphasize Swiss nature, how the nature is beautiful, the landscapes, but actually we also have culture. So I prepared a little presentation. I think we can show it on the screen. to show a little bit about the Swiss lifestyle. So is it nature versus culture? I don't think so. But as a matter of fact, normally when we sell Switzerland, we think of beautiful landscapes, mountains, and maybe you imagine yourself hiking around. But today we have our guest from the Lake Geneva region. And I think it's a great opportunity for me to also show that it's not only about beautiful landscapes, but actually Swiss people are also quite interesting. And the way their lifestyle is also quite interesting. So I already presented last week a few about the main cities in Switzerland, about Basel and also Zurich. So you can see when you see these pictures that we cannot really split culture from nature. So nature is really completely integral part of the landscape, even if you are in urban area. And even here, it's a picture of our capital city in Bern. That's the main street in the middle of the city. But the whole old town of Bern is actually built according to the special terrain of this place. So you can see there is a kind of a U-turn of a river, and the old city is built in this U-turn. It's not an island; it's just a part. But of course, in medieval times, it was really a strategic place to be well protected. So I don't want to split nature and culture. And actually, when we see this beautiful nature, this also actually produced our beautiful culture, because a lot of people have been inspired by Switzerland, inspired by the landscapes. So we have attracted a lot of artists, a lot of talents. For example, here in the region of Lake Geneva region, we had Russian musicians like Tchaikovsky, and also Charlie Chaplin, and a bit more earlier, or a bit closer to us, Freddie Mercury. They all lived in the region. They all created in the region. So we have imported a lot of talents, but we have also a lot of famous Swiss artists who were maybe inspired by Lake Geneva region, like Ferdinand Hodler, but also a lot of more contemporary artists. Maybe you know Giacometti. Giacometti, you can see a lot of his art pieces in Basel in the Bayern Museum, but also in Basel you can go to the Tingley Museum. He was a crazy artist building very complicated machines, and actually in the museum in Basel you can really play with these machines, make them turn. So it's very interactive, and you can see how rich the spirit is. But also a very famous architect. We have a lot of famous architects from Switzerland. This is a pretty old one from the early 20th century, Le Corbusier. But I chose this because, first of all, you can visit it as a tourist, this villa. But this really shows a little bit the Swiss spirit of keeping things very simple, very functional. You may think about the Swiss Army knife, where they're really about functioning and optimizing the design. Actually, here this villa looks quite fancy, but the whole design is really based on practicality. And if you travel in Switzerland, even the clocks that you see in the train stations, they are also actually really famous design pieces. This is really very famous piece because it's really the best way or the easiest way to see what time it is. So it's interesting to see that in Switzerland we have really optimized a lot of design. Like here, the font that you have in all of your computers, the Helvetica font. Helvetica means Switzerland. It was, of course, created by a Swiss. And it's also famous because of the simplicity of each letter. It's really designing every letter in this most simple way. Maybe one of the reasons is because in Switzerland we have 4 different languages. So in standard product, very often we have to write 4 different languages. So here actually it's written in Helvetica font. Probably Anton is smiling looking at this. This is actually also the Swiss lifestyle. Every soldier in Switzerland, when they are doing their army, they get this official military chocolate that should actually make them fight better and have a better mood during the day. So, but it's also to show you a bit the complexity of a small country with 4 different languages. You need to keep things very simple so that everybody can understand. Then, of course, when I say 4 different languages, it's also 4 different cultures, culinary cultures. Also, if you go to the French-speaking part, like we will present today, the gastronomy is much more influenced by the French gastronomy. If you go to the north, in the German part, you will have a lot of sausages. You have always this kind of potato hash brown called rösti that you can find. So it's also very diverse in terms of gastronomy. I don't go more into details because today is not my day. But finally, I want to emphasize that if you travel in Switzerland, you can buy a Swiss travel pass. It gives you access to all the trains, boats, and buses in Switzerland that you can just take. But in addition, if you really like the culture side of Switzerland, you have free access to 500 museums in Switzerland that is included in the Swiss Travel Pass. So, for example, we will introduce today probably the Olympic Museum. The Olympic Museum is free of charge if you have a Swiss Travel Pass. So really, the best way to experience Swiss culture is also to do it by train. Thank you very much. And now I give the word to my colleagues, Anton and Celine, to show you about my home region, the Lake Geneva region. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Baptiste. Baptiste is not able to join us throughout the program, so everyone please thank him on the chat, on the comment section for joining us in the last 2 weeks. Thank you so much, Baptiste, and we hope to see you again maybe in our next live streams.
See you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye. All right, so now that you've seen a lot that Switzerland can offer, thank you so much again to Sir Baptiste, who has been passionately sharing with us everything that Switzerland has to offer, from grand tours to cultural highlights. Now we are moving to the French-speaking part of Switzerland. Remember, Mr. Baptiste's hometown is in Lausanne, and so we are going to that region today. So I would like to introduce now the next speaker for today. We know him as Tito Tony. If you know, he has visited the Philippines so many times, and he has been one of the most passionate about promoting Switzerland as the perfect destination for your next trip. He's a Swiss national based in Bangkok, Thailand for 22 years now. And he is the market director for Southeast Asia under Highlights of Lake Geneva Region. Presenting Mr. Antoinette or Tito Tony. Hello, welcome.
Bonjour à tous. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How do you say again in Swiss? It's Grüezi, no?
It's Swiss German is Grüezi. In Swiss French, it's bonjour. In Italian, it's buongiorno. And in Romansh, is allegra.
Wow, so many languages, right? So now you get to also learn from Tito Tony all the ways to say hello. All right, so Tito Tony, the floor is now yours to tell us more about the highlights of Lake Geneva region.
Thank you so much, Felice. Thank you, everybody, to join this session this afternoon. As Felice said, I'm a regular to your home country. I don't want to tell you wherever I've been. Only the south I never hit because we were so afraid of the Abu Sayyaf, but that's another story. So it's always great to be back in the Philippines. And let's start with the Lake Geneva region. There is a product called Highlights Lake Geneva region, which we founded 11 years ago. And this includes a mountain, a train, a castle, a boat, and a museum, the Olympic Museum, and the chocolate factory. So let's start in the mountain with Glacier 3000. This you can see here on this screen the location. We are in the western part, obviously, as everybody of you knows Geneva, right? So we are actually very close to Geneva airport, but also not far away from Interlaken or Lucerne. Okay, now we go up the mountain to Glacier 3000. Why Glacier 3000? Because the altitude of the glacier is on 3,000 meters, and that's the peak-to-peak suspension bridge, the only one existing in the world from a peak to a peak. Then our glacier has, compared to other friendly competitors, a lot of activities to do. Some are even included in the basic package, which is the cable car, it's the snow fun park, and it's the glacier walk, and the ice express, which brings us down to the glacier and up again later on. Not included with the next slide is for a little supplement is the dog sledge ride. We are the only mountain actually in Switzerland who can provide you with a dog sledge ride, although we have to book it in advance. And then we can do a snow bus ride. You see the snow bus on this slide. And we have 3 of them. Capacity is 20 packs. And then you have a trip over the glacier and back. And of course, we also have the famous Alpine coaster, which is actually only open from May to October, because then in winter, with the snow arriving shortly, then we're gonna close. But during May until October, it's a fun activity on Glacier 3000. And then after that, doing all these activities, you might be hungry. So we have the restaurants on the 3rd and 4th floors with a total capacity of 300 packs. And we also have then, after your lunch, probably you can go to the watch and souvenir shop. You can see we have a special corner with Tissot, as Tissot is quite a famous brand in Southeast Asia. Let me also add, before we go to the Golden Pass train, that you could also do your special events on Glacier 3000. Like incentive groups or a mice group. So we close normally the glacier at 5, and then the last cable car goes down. But you could arrive then at this time, doing maybe some activities and having an aperitif and having dinner, and then we bring you down at the time you want to decide with the cable car. So keep in mind, if you have an incentive group, you can also do this. Okay, so a perfect combination between Glacier 3000 and going down to Montreux is the Golden Pass. The Golden Pass train, actually, the Golden Pass line is starting in Lucerne and goes all the way through Interlaken to Montreux. But we focus on the routing from Zweisimmen, Gstaad to Montreux, because from Glacier 3000 you can reach the station in Gstaad in only 30 minutes. So the coach or the public bus will arrive at the station in Gstaad, and then you take the train down to Montreux. You have different trains. You have the Golden Pass panoramic train, and you have the Golden Pass Belle Epoque, which we're going to see on the next slide. So this is the Belle Epoque. You can see just starting from Montreux through the vineyards up to the mountains. You can see it's a Belle Epoque carriage, so it's very nice. And the other version you could also choose is the panoramic train. You can see the panoramic window, so the clients can really enjoy the scenic view all the way up to start from Montreux. You see in the back, you can see the Gion Castle. We have the vineyards, and then we go up to the mountain. Here you have a better view from the panoramic train with all these panoramic windows. We have 2 classes. We have a second class and a first class. This is the second class, 2 and 2 seats. and first class has 2 and 1. This is the top of the train. Before we go back to the panoramic, so in front of the panoramic train is the VIP lounge, 8 seats, and you see you're in front of the train because the driver is upstairs. And both trains are doing the same routing, same time, same price as well. We are on the Golden Pass Express. This is our new baby, a totally new train, which will run directly from Interlaken to Montreux, starting mid-December next year. So mid-December 2022, we will have a brand new product, which starts in Interlaken, only stops in Spiez, Zweisimmen, Gstaad, Château de Montbovot, and then all the way down to Montreux. You can see some pictures from the interior in the next slide. Here we go. It's all leather seats, even a reversible. So it's we are very looking forward to this product. On the next slide, you can see the routing. So all the way from Interlaken, Zweisimmen, Gstaad, down to Montreux. It will take about 3 hours, 15 minutes. But you can, of course, take it from Interlaken, go out in Gstaad, and then visit the Glacier 3000 before you continue the journey down to Montreux. Okay, so we are in Montreux, and we're going to visit the Chillon Castle. The Chillon Castle is one of the most visited monuments in Switzerland, built at the shores of Lake Geneva. You can see on this slide in the middle, there is a boat approaching Chillon Castle. We're going to talk later about this boat because the Chillon Castle has their own boat station. Okay, so what we have inside, as I said, it's more than 1,000-year-old historical monument. And then you can choose your visit that suits you best, right? You can do audio guides, you can have an official guide, the guided tours. So it depends whatever we want to choose. We don't have the audio guides in Tagalog yet, but who knows? This is probably coming soon. So next will be the wine tasting. And we brainstormed a lot, and we said, why not doing a wine tasting package in Chillon Castle? So you can choose, for wine lovers, of course, you can choose a 50 minutes guided tour, including the wine tasting. So we do a short tour, and then you can see on the slide, we have a wine tasting because hardly anybody knows that we have a white wine and a red wine, as you can see. And after the tour, you will get a souvenir glass with the Chillon logo to take home to the Philippines. In the back, you can see the barrels because we're going to harvest this month, actually, the grapes, and then put them in the barrel down in the cellar. Now you may ask, but if I come with my children, what we're going to do? So then we can still do the wine tasting for the parents, and then for the kids, of course, we have orange juice or water, tea and coffee is also in the package. So next, we move to CGN. Now, nobody knows what CGN means. It means Compagnie Genevoise Nautique. So it's the biggest steamboat company in Switzerland on Lake Geneva. You can see here this steam paddle boat. And this, we would take them from Chillon, maybe to Montreux or to Vevey or to Lausanne or wherever you want to go on the Lake Geneva. This is a product which suits best from April to October, the same than the Alpine coaster on Glacier 3000, because in winter it's too cold on the boat because you want to stay outside, you want to take pictures. So also the timetable is a little bit reduced in winter time. Okay, so you see here we focus actually on the eastern part of the lake, although they have many other stations in on the lake. So the boat stations are actually situated perfectly. As you can see on the bottom, Chillon Castle has their own boat station. Montreux from the boat station to the train station is about 10 minutes walk. In Lausanne, the same distance and time from from Ushi to the Olympic Museum. In Vevey, the same. In 5 minutes, you are at the Nestle Fork or at the Charlie Chaplin Monument. So perfect locations for the boat stations. Let's see what they have next on GGN. So here are the different cruise options. Depends to the timing, how much time you have, the itinerary you come from, you want to go to. So Vevey-Chillon is 45 minutes. Montreux-Chillon is a little bit short. You can also do a 2 hours cruise, and we're going to see in the next slide, we could also do a lunch cruise. This is the next slide. You can see the beautiful view to the vineyards. Lausanne-Evian is popular because many people want to go over from Lausanne to Evian to drink the Evian water, which of course you're very familiar with. So the next slide will bring us to the Olympic Museum. I just wanted to add with CGN that we also gonna offer a lunch cruise. So that would be from Chillon Castle to Lausanne, or Lausanne to Chillon, and it's 1 hour 45 minutes. It's a perfect timing. I did it several times. There's enough time to enjoy the vineyards, and there's also enough time for a 3-course lunch on deck of the steam paddler. Okay, so we arrive in Lausanne, and as you know, Lausanne is the capital of the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, but it's also the place of the Olympic Museum, which was some years ago completely renovated. So it shows all about the Olympic world with origins of games, symbols, opening and closing ceremonies. With the next slide, we're also going to see on the next slide, we're going to see the Olympic Games. So the evolution in sport competitions. We have audiovisual shows, and of course the athletes' stories in the museum. The next slide brings us to the spirit, the Olympic spirit. So everything about the Olympic spirit, and then you can even put yourself in the shoes of an athlete with different activities. As you can see here on this slide, on the bottom right, you can see Mr. Bach, the actual president of the International Olympic Committee, tries to get a good shooting result. Okay, then we have the park. There's a huge park in front of the museum, which you're gonna reach in 97 steps from downstairs where you usually arrive. And there's a lot of sculpture also there, beautiful sculpture about sports installations. So we move now a little bit further up to a little village called Bro, B-R-O-C. And Bro is the home of the oldest chocolate factory in Switzerland, which is the Maison Caillé. So Caillé is the brand. Actually, the product belongs to the Nestle Group, which headquarters is actually in Vevey. Okay, let's go through the slides. A long history with production of chocolate. You can see the castle, the Caillé Castle, where all the production starts in Bro. So with the next slide, we're gonna go into the history where the chocolate comes from, and we go further again. Of course, it's paradise for kids. They can also see the beans, and then of course it's chocolate tasting. Eat as much as you can, and you could even do your own chocolate shop, which I did 2 years ago. That's fun as well, whether with the family or in bigger groups. Okay, so after having filled our stomachs with Caillé chocolate, we are moving onwards. I don't know where, that's up to you, maybe to Bern or Interlaken, I don't know. Again, here you see the map of Switzerland. We have a proposal on the right site how we could implement all the highlights. It's not always possible to visit all of them. As I said before, the biggest combinations are the Golden Pass with Glacier 3000, the Chillon Castle with the steamboat from Sichuan, the other one more or less individual. So, voila. Next slide. Is there another one coming? Yes, that's another slide with all the products with different itineraries which we propose to you. This, ladies and gentlemen, my colleagues, this is ending my presentation of today. And I would like to thank Felice, hearty thank you to having me on this show. And to you all guys out there, I say thank you to choose Switzerland as a destination. Yeah? And of course, we will welcome you in the Lake Geneva region with open arms and open hearts. Thank you so much. Salamat po.
Thank you so much, Tito Tony. By the way, we'll have Tito Tony later during the Q&A portion, so he'll be back. But wonderful presentation as usual. Thank you so much for showing us the highlights of Lake Geneva region. So we will have Tito Tony later on during the Q&A. We have another special guest with us today. Actually, it's a surprise for you guys. She's going to do a live tour of where she is right now. So we are going to be joined in by the market manager for Southeast Asia for 7 years now, representing Montreux Riviera, Lavaux UNESCO World Heritage Vineyards, the Montreux Christmas Market, the Vevey Lake Shores are some of the reasons why she loves to live in the Swiss paradise. So, presenting the very gorgeous Miss Céline Guido from Montreux Vevey Tourism. Hello, she's live
everyone.
in Vevey right now.
Hello, thank you for having me. I've just decided today that the weather was so beautiful that I couldn't do like a presentation in-house or in the office. And it was for me the great opportunity to enjoy the sun from here. You probably recognize the huge fog here behind me that you've seen on different pictures before in the presentation. So I'm very lucky to live in this beautiful place in Vevey. And I'm going to do a tour for you today. So just before, this is where I am here on the lake shore. And I'm going to show you my special friends after, which is just behind me. So Montreux and Vevey region, as well as Lavaux, are beautiful places which you can join in only 1 hour with the train. And we are really looking forward to have you there very soon. Do not forget to book a lovely wine tasting in Lavaux after a nice walk or a boat tour. Hope you will see soon a boat behind me. I mean, a beautiful lake tour on a CGN boat that you've been told before is definitely something not to miss. So look at this beautiful view here. Behind me here, you actually can see this is the food museum, Alimentarium. If you come with a family, there is beautiful workshop to do with the kids and chocolate workshop. Guess who is my special friend here? You all know him. This is Charlie Chaplin. You know that Charlie Chaplin used to live in Vevey. He actually lived for 25 years in Vevey. He had a beautiful manor where you can go to visit. The manor is actually the place where he used to be. And there is the studio where that you can visit. And the studio is actually kind of a Hollywood studio, but you can actually walk into the movie decors. So this is the lecture here. Vevey is full of beautiful shops and also coffee shop, restaurants that you can go in. And here, I'm going to show you a special place for me. This is actually one of the places I love to go with my son on weekends because he loves fishing. But let me tell you a bit more about also Montreux Christmas Market. We do have a very special Christmas market in Montreux. that you should really come and discover. It takes place from the 19th of November to the 24th of December. And we actually have Santa Claus house up the mountain, but we also have Santa flying over Montreux 3 times a day. Beautiful Christmas atmosphere. You can have nice warm wine, Christmas tea, lots of small wooden house with lots of activities for the kids. And this year we do have a very special new things. You will be able to go ice skating, and we also have an ice bar on the during the Christmas market. The ice bar will stay open until the 9th of January, as well as the ice skating. Look, I've got another special friend. Can you see? Say hello. I have to say, everyone is looking at me like I'm talking on my own. This is Okay, now this is Vevey going. You've got a nice walk, or you can do until La Tour de Paix and Montreux behind there. There is lots of parks that you can stop to have a nice lunch outside. You can go on parks with the kids. Glacier 3000 that Anton presented you before is accessible only 1 hour and a half away with the Golden Pass train. And you've got the boat going to Montreux, to the Chillon Castle. I always say, from Vevey, the most beautiful way to arrive to Chillon Castle is with a CGN boat. So I invite you, if you come, to go there with a boat cruise. What you see there, it's actually France on the other side. I let you admire the beautiful clear water. As you can see here, this is Lake Geneva, and this is actually one of the most clean lakes in the world, I would say. Really clear water. Can you hear the peace and quiet here? You've got actually lots of family walking around with the kids, having a little tour, enjoying the sunshine. This is how we live in Switzerland, in Vevey, enjoying reading a newspaper or a book on the lake shore. And now it starts to be autumn, so you can see actually trees changing colors. I'm going to walk you to the pier where I spend most of my weekends fishing with the family. This is also what we like in Switzerland. When you come to experience a region, we like you to discover life as we live it, actually. And that's why I want you to know a little bit about me. We were saying before that I represent the market for 7 years. I'm really happy to welcome all your guests anytime, and anything you may need, we're always at your disposal with Anton. And we would like also to thank you so much for all your support, and looking forward to welcome you very soon. This is a nice port. Something we can do as well, we can organize small boat tour. Look at this beautiful pier and beautiful view here. There is a castle there that you can see, which is a museum, a game museum. Look at Vevey, La Tour de Paix. I'm trying not to move too fast, so I hope it's fine. And I'm gonna finish here and show you this beautiful lake and mountain view here behind me. Lavaux vineyards are actually up Vevey, and there is different way to visit Lavaux. You can either use the small touristic train, which lots of travel agency knows. You can also walk into the vineyards, you can cycle, but everything should always end with a wine tasting. So now I'm going to thank you so much and send you my kind regards from Vevey, and please come very soon.
Thank you so much, Miss Celine. Wow, that's a really nice tour of Vevey at the moment. Someone was asking how to spell Vevey on the comment section.
Vevey.
Yeah, so it's not Bebe, not Bebe, but Vevey, Vevey. So,
Vevey.
yes, thank you. We really enjoyed the tour, the small tour that you gave for us today, and
I could
everyone
continue
really wants to
forever and
join.
go into the cities, the town, but as I told you before, I can take half a day. So I know you also have a lot of things to cover.
Don't worry, but we'll just stay with us because a lot of people might have some questions. So thank you again for the short presentation. I will also bring back Tito Tony on the screen now for our short discussion about what has been presented. So if anyone has any questions for Tito Tony, for highlights of Lake Geneva region, for Vevey, please put it on the chat or on the comment section and we'll be happy to answer them. But of course, please do not forget to share the stream because after the Q&A, we are going to definitely try to choose who's going to win the 500 GCash credit. I think Celine just disappeared for a bit, but we still have Tito Tony here who's going to help us answer some questions. So Tito Tony, I know you're in Thailand right now, and I know you miss Switzerland. But actually, one of the first few questions that a lot of the travelers ask is, when would be the perfect time to travel to Lake Geneva region?
Can I answer?
Yes, please.
Sure.
Yes. So, I mean, I would say there is no every time is a perfect season, depending on what you want to do. For instance, spring is amazing because it's not too hot. You can go into the vineyard, and September is a very nice season as well. Summer is lovely. You've got a quality of lifestyle, like we call also the region the Swiss Riviera. You've got a beautiful holiday atmosphere with small bars. You can enjoy the lovely cocktail on the lake shore, go for a swim in the lake. Winter, you've got, you can ski. Let's not forget that we are only 40 minutes away from all the ski resorts. Also, we are not a ski destination, but we offer also beginner first ski experience. We do have a small mountain, Rocher de Nez, where we can organize this for a day. And of course, we've got a beautiful Christmas market. So, I mean, you can really travel all year long round in the region. There is always something to do.
Thank you so much for that, Celine. So now you know Switzerland and basically Lake Geneva region and Vevey is a year-long or year-round destination, no matter what the season is. All right, so next question for Tito Tony. How many days do you suggest for travelers to fully experience the highlights of Lake Geneva region without having to rush everything?
I mean, if you're talking about the highlights, right, then you need 2 overnights. You need 2 overnights. Of course, it depends where you come from. Are you coming from Geneva? Or are you coming maybe from Lucerne, Interlaken, or Bern? But 2 nights in the region. And Celine has so many beautiful hotels in Montreux and Vevey for every budget, 3 to 5 star. So 2 nights. Otherwise, it's a rush. You know, you don't want to rush from one attraction to the other. Voila.
Yes, and in terms of hotels, we do have everything from 5-star, 4-star, 3-star hotels. Anything you may need, let us know. Most of the hotels offer lake view, and they are all, every hotel is like short walking distance from the train station as well, which is very nice and practical. And of course, everyone knows about Montreux, but as I say, Vevey is only 7 minutes away with the train from Montreux, and it's also a beautiful city. And you can also go to enjoy a visit at Chaplin's World while you're there. So I would say 2 nights in Montreux, 2 nights in Vevey is also great.
Yes, perfect. I can attest to the Lakeview hotels.
Yes.
That's really perfect. We do have a question from some people who are actually interested in the situation there in Switzerland right now, Celine. So they're saying, wow, you're not wearing any mask or face mask or face shield. So how is it like now in Switzerland?
I have to say, everything is kind of getting back to normal. So we are not wearing masks outside. But I have to say, Switzerland has been quite particular because we never really had any proper lockdown. But we are wearing masks in supermarkets. And also now in some of the museum, you need your COVID pass. You need to be fully vaccinated. Once you are fully vaccinated, you can take off the mask inside. But in restaurant also, if you are fully vaccinated, then you do not need any mask. And I have to say the situation is very safe here. It's always, we had some times where it was not easy as everywhere, but I have to say now we are kind of getting back to normality, which is great, I have to say.
That's good to know. Anton and I are just looking in envy because Tita Tony's in Thailand, I'm in the Philippines.
I mean, it's. I mean, Celine, it was. I have to say that in front of the whole audience, it was a fantastic presentation. It still is from you, and you almost put tears in my eyes. I haven't been to Switzerland for a long time, as you probably know. In Thailand, the restrictions are still here. We still have a night curfew, and the restaurants are open only at 8 o'clock in the evening, and so on and so on. But we see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we already had guests on Glacier 3000 from Felice. Thank you again for that. So what is maybe important to know also is, Celine will hopefully agree, is that the Swiss government is planning an online platform so that all the certificates from, let's say, the Philippines or Thailand or Southeast Asia or all Asia can be transferred into a Swiss certificate.
Yes.
Because it could happen, you go into a restaurant in Switzerland with maybe a certificate, and then they say, we don't know this certificate, you have to sit outside. Which in summer is okay to sit outside, but now winter is approaching. So this is should be decided next Monday on the 18th. And this will help a lot, right? So also for me, I get my second shot in 1 week's time, and then transfer my Thai certificate in the Swiss certificate, and then off to visit Celine. Voila.
And I have to be honest,
Yes.
they're always quite helpful. Even when we received groups recently, we even have a service when guests needs to be tested before they go back to their country. I work with a company that goes directly to the hotel and test everyone at the same time. In Switzerland, we always like to try to get everything efficient, work well. And I just include it in the program. In 15 minutes, everyone is tested and they've got their thing on their mobile and they can leave. So, everything is working well.
Yeah, I can actually attest to how efficient Switzerland is because I got my vaccination in Switzerland.
Really?
And all the digital certificates is in the COVID app. And if I get tested as well, they can also just put the QR code on the COVID app. So it's really great. Thank you for that information, Tito Tony. I actually haven't heard of that news that they're going to also do something for all the visitors, because actually that's one of the biggest problems we have right now. Some countries don't recognize the vaccine cards that we have here in the Philippines or somewhere else in the world. Someone is asking about vaccination. I think you can answer this, Tito Tony, or should I answer this one?
What vaccination? Pardon me?
They are asking if they are required to have a full vaccination to be able to visit Switzerland.
Yes. It's true, Celine, right? You have to be fully vaccinated, if I'm not mistaken, no?
Yeah.
No, you have to be vaccinated, or you have to be tested. There is different things. So now, if you are not fully vaccinated, you need to be to have a test. and then you need to be tested back after a couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
This
piece-
is what
Yeah.
this is what Batiste was actually explaining
Yes.
last stream. So for us from the Philippines, we do require, or they do require, that you have a full vaccination. Sinovac is included, don't worry. The only problem is that although AstraZeneca, Moderna, Pfizer, J&J, and Sinovac are all included in the list of vaccines that's accepted to enter Switzerland, I think there's only 4 minus Sinovac that's allowed in the restaurants and the places where you have to show your full vaccination or proof of vaccination. So for those who are Sinovac, you can enter Switzerland, but you have to test yourself every 48 hours. And that's the new ruling, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yes, if you are fully vaccinated, you can definitely visit Switzerland. And actually, you can... Yeah, you can definitely contact your travel agent if you need help with your visa application for Switzerland, because Swiss embassy is already open for tourist visa applications. But yes, you need to also show your full vaccination card. Yeah. All right. So what else can we ask? Who else has a question? Yes, you need Schengen visa to be able to enter Switzerland. You won't be able to get out of the Philippines, firstly, if you don't have a Schengen visa. Yes, of course. We also have a question for those who might have altitude sickness. How bad is it if they visit Glacier 3000? Is the altitude sickness not as bad as when you go to Jungfraujoch? I think Celine would know now.
Yeah, I was there yesterday.
Yeah, actually, they say on 3,000 you're still okay. So let's see. We have of course Glacier 3000. We have Schilthorn. We have Titlis. It's all on 3,000. I wouldn't know of any. Well, maybe some people get a little bit dizzy, but not really sick, right? So I think in all these years, I'm now with Glacier 3000. I think we have once had a patient who had to be flown out by helicopter to Lausanne. You know, one of the biggest and best hospitals is the CHUV in Lausanne. I think Celine agrees with that. And but he had a heart problem. But usually 3,000 is okay. But to be honest with you guys, me personally, because I have a heart problem, Jungfrau, which I have been many times when I was a kid, but Jungfrau and Mont Blanc, just to give you an idea, or the Matterhorn, now the new cable car to the Matterhorn, I shouldn't do it, that my doctors say. So of course I listen to them. So that could be riskier.
That's good. Yes, it's actually also a problem for us when we have to tell people about the mountains in Switzerland, because they think that it's just, going to Mount Pulag or something. They never think that, it's a different mountain. It has a different altitude and it's very high. So some people can experience altitude sickness, meaning they can be dizzy or they can throw up. And we've had passengers actually throwing up during the cable car ride. So, but it's a fun experience. I mean, I've tried Glacier 3000 personally. I haven't tried a husky ride. I would love to try it, but I've tried the Alpine coaster. It's one of the most fun experiences I've had. Also, one of the most fun experiences you can have as well is the wine tasting. Switzerland has one of the best wines. Specifically, the Lake Geneva region has one of the best wines in Switzerland.
Especially in Lavaux.
So, yep, exactly.
And I think, Felice, you should come next time and do the live from Lavaux. And, or we could, I promise you, if you come during Christmas market, I organize a special interview between you and Santa Claus.
Wow. That's great. I haven't met Santa Claus. I haven't met Santa Claus in Switzerland. I've only met him in Finland. So hopefully I'll be able to meet him in Switzerland, in Vevey, maybe next time. All right. So last question, I guess, would be from people who are asking about quarantine requirements in Switzerland. If they do have full vaccination, do they need to be quarantined, especially like if they enter Geneva?
I think, well, Celine will correct me, but it depends whether your country is on the list. So let's say Thailand is opening now. with 9 countries, but Switzerland is not on the list. So means when Swiss people coming back to Thailand, it's still not 2 weeks, but 1 week quarantine. And in Switzerland, if I think there's no need.
In
need
Switzerland, there is no quarantine. If you,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're full vaccinated, there is no quarantine in Switzerland.
But the question is now for the Philippines, is Switzerland on the green or on the red line of
For going back?
Yeah.
Yeah, for going back to the Philippines, Switzerland is still under the yellow list country. So if you are fully vaccinated, coming back from Switzerland, going to the Philippines, then you'll have to quarantine in the Philippines for 6 days.
6
So
days.
we have to tell Mr. Duterte to change that, please.
I think it will change soon because they changed the regulation just yesterday for green list countries. Then there's no quarantine anymore if you're fully vaccinated. So yes, not required to quarantine in Switzerland because the Philippines is not on the red list of Switzerland. So you can go to Switzerland if you're fully vaccinated. You don't have to quarantine at all. So that's a good motivation for you to visit. Maybe book your flight now to Geneva and visit Celine. It's just a few hours by train to Vevey.
Exactly.
So, yes.
Let me know. I will be waiting for you anytime.
All right, perfect. So those are the questions for now. We are going to move to our wheel of sharers. So we're going to choose 2 winners this time. So I think the first winner is going to be Celine, who's going to say to us to stop scrolling. So I will share the screen of Zaira in a bit. But we will be scrolling through the people who have shared the stream. And once Celine says stop, then whoever is on the top of on the screen is going to be the winner of a 500 peso GCash credit. And the second, so by the way, there's a second, not yet, a little bit later. I will just explain the other prize. So after Celine's prize, it's gonna be Anton's prize next, which is a voucher that I will show later. So Anton is going to be the one who will say stop the second time. So for now, with Celine for the 500 GCash credit. Are you ready, Celine?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. So I will ask Zaira to start scrolling up and down. All right. She's starting now. So just say stop anytime, Celine.
Okay. Stop.
All right. Ms. Zaira, who's the winner for now? Let's see. The one on top. I can't see the name. It's a little bit hard for me to see. That's Ramon Alonso III is our winner for GCash credit. So Sir Ramon Alonso III, please, I will, if you can comment actually on the comment section, so it's easier for us to find you and ask for your GCash number later. Thank you, Celine, for choosing the winner for 500 peso GCash credit for today. So again, we have another to win. Yes, congrats to Sir Ramon Alonso III. The second one actually is going to win the next voucher, which is a weekend in the Lake Geneva region for 2 persons. So this is 2 nights with breakfast on a 4-star hotel, with tickets included for Glacier 3000, the Golden Pass, Maison Caillé, Shiong Castle, the CGNN Olympic Museum. So the next one is going to win this voucher. Let me ask Tito Tony, until when is this voucher valid?
Well, we are quite open. Let's say until at least 2022, right? I mean, with the current situation, which can always change, hopefully not. So, yeah.
All right. Okay. So now Zaira is scrolling. So in 3, 2, 1, you can say stop anytime, Tito Tony.
Stop.
Stop. Who do we have? Pauline Atienza. Miss Pauline Atienza has won a voucher for 2 nights to Lake Geneva region. So Miss Pauline, if you can comment on the comment section, I will remove now Zaira's stream and I will show you actually the voucher that she's gonna win. So this is the voucher, Miss Pauline Atienza. Oh, there she is. She's screaming in excitement. So she has won this voucher, which is a weekend in the Lake Geneva region for 2 persons with Glacier 3000, Golden Pass, Misonkai, Shion Castle, CGN, Olympic Museum in 2 nights with breakfast at a 4-star hotel. So congratulations to Miss Pauline Atienza. We're going to message you later and give you the voucher. And you can message us or Tito Tony anytime. We'll give you the instructions as well on how to redeem your prize later. Of course, if you didn't win today, don't worry. You can still win the grand prize of a 9-day tour in Switzerland, care of Europamundo Vacations. So the grand draw is going to be on the 28th of October. So if you have shared the stream, if you have made it public, and at the same time, if you have also commented on this now, the last question that I will have, then you will be entitled for a raffle entry. So the question I have for everybody so that you can be entitled for a raffle entry is, which city is Miss Celine Guido in right now? Wrong spelling, wrong. It has to be the correct spelling. So which city is Miss Celine Guido in right now? So put your answers in the comment section, and that will entitle you to the grand prize, which is a 9-day in Switzerland. Ayan, ang dami nagkopyahan, daming everybody's copying answers. Wrong spelling is wrong. It's not Vevey.
Can I
So
help?
if you have no, it's okay. Actually, we're going to use this list. All of the people who are going to comment Vevey today. Ayan, nasabi ko na yung sagot. All the people who commented today we're going to check if they follow the instructions, and they automatically get an entry for the grand draw on October 28th. So thank you so much to everyone who answered. Again, thank you so much, Tito Tony and Celine. After I end the broadcast, yes, please stay in the room. I'm going to thank you and give some feedback later. So I'll just remove you in the stream for now, but do stay for a bit for some last minute instructions. So everyone else who are on the stream at the moment, again, thank you so much for joining us today. I see so many people still copying the answers to the question, and I already actually answered the question a while ago. So if you haven't been able to watch the previous live stream and you still would like to join the entry, then just watch the live stream from last Thursday and comment the answer to the question we had from last week's live stream. So there you go. Again, thank you so much to Tito Tony and Celine, and we will see again everybody next week. So we do this every Thursday at 5 p.m. We will see you again next week, wherein we are going to have another part of Switzerland. Actually, it's what a lot of people have been waiting for. Guess what? Which Korean novella has been very successful and has been shot in Switzerland? Clue, there's Captain Ri and Yoon Se-ri. Remember? Which Korean novella is it? Put it on the comment section if you know. So we are going to focus more on the romantic side of Switzerland next week. So yes, Chloe, Crash Landing on You. So we are going to focus on the shooting locations of Crash Landing on You next week. So we're going to put up the event page later on after the stream, so you can join us again next week. Again, if in case you didn't win the 9-day trip to Switzerland, and like we said, you can also you can already visit Switzerland as long as you're fully vaccinated with the 4 main vaccines plus Sinovac. Then you can also go to Europamundo.com and check Switzerland. We have Switzerland's Best, which is the one on the grand draw, a 9-day trip around Switzerland. But at the same time, if you want to also include the highlights of Lake Geneva region, you can contact any of your travel agents. We also have accredited travel agents who would be happy to endorse them to you if you need someone to actually join you, or if you need someone to give you the itinerary that is your dream trip to Switzerland. So contact any of our accredited travel agencies. Please help them out. We've been struggling throughout the pandemic, so book your next trip with your most trusted travel agent. A lot of them are actually on the comment section right now, so you can also comment, or you can also contact those travel agencies. So again, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you again next week for the Crash Landing on Switzerland live stream for the World at Your Home series. So again, thanks you so much, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Stay safe.